haven't done nothing wrong. I got good integrity. I could live with myself without guilt and shame. Because of that, I got high self-esteem. Great, we're going to hand everything over to you, Joseph, here in the prison. Wherever you go, God find favor for you in the hearts and the minds of those others. Then, you guys come to tell a dream, right? And they're in prison. One guy was chief baker for the Pharaoh himself. Right? Chief baker. Chief baker is not just chief of cooking all the food. If Pharaoh gets sick, you're dying, bud. So you better taste test it, sample it, make sure it's perfect. And back in those days, you know, I don't think they had an oven, so cooking might have been tricky. Burnt the chicken, man. No good. Prison for you. Alright, so they have a dream. There's the baker, and there's the chief cupbearer. Chief cupbearer. Give to the Pharaoh. You don't drink anything till you drink it. And if you're still living in 15 minutes, I'll take a drink. No poisoning me. Not gonna trick me. So scared and afraid of everything and all around them. Gotta have a cupbearer, gotta have a food guy, gotta have all these other people. Now they're in trouble. Jail. Talking to Joseph. They had this dream. The cupbearer goes first. I had this dream. That there's these three birds and they're sitting on the branches. And there was this vines growing the grapes. And I walked right up to the grapes, squeezed the stuff into the cup, and I went right over and held that to the Pharaoh himself. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, 3 days you're going to be restored back to the official cupbearer. You're going to be found innocent. Right? And you will rise that cup up to the Pharaoh. All right? Go to the book of Revelations, you got the mystery Babylon lady and her drink of mixed drink, right? That mixed cup. Right? Through all the confusion, through all the pains and the sufferings, God held to His word. As we see all that, I will never leave you. I'll never forsake you. Never. Right? Yeah, Jesus, drink this cup. When man lived, Son of Man is raised up, then God will glorify you. Right? The other guy says, wow, man, that's good news. Hey, I had a dream too. And I had this basket of bread. Right? Wine and bread. And a little bit of wine and bread, you know, makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. So he's got this bread there, basket of bread, right? And you ever seen Jesus, the pictures of the crown of thorns, like that basket looking? Yeah, in 3 days, Pharaoh's going to destroy you because the birds were eating out of the thing. Jesus says, unless you drink my wine, my blood, and eat my bread. Right? Unless you come to Joseph and get your dreams answered. Who's Joseph? Jesus. Jesus. Unless you come to Jesus, you ain't going to get your dreams answered. But that was the thing. When they rise up the Son of God. Okay, here's Joseph in prison, all these things, and he's got this high self-esteem. Yeah, when you rise up the Son of God, all kinds of miracles happen to you. All kinds of strength. And people want to find out what happened. I believed. Without a doubt. Without guilt and shame. Without having to prove it. Without having to do anything. I am the living Son of the living God. Right? Right? We all died with Christ. And now live for the glory of God. Meaning, there's nothing more pleasing to God than to give this to you. To give it to you. What is the work we must do? Receive it. That's the work you must do. Believe it. That God is mercy and God desires mercy. In that mercy, we're going to have great amount of love for ourselves and an ability to have mercy on somebody else. Not be agitated, aggravated, upset, or angry. In prison, bitter or cold. No, we're going to give somebody some advice, man. We're going to answer some dreams. Now when you get up to Pharaoh, remember me. Remember me. Remember me. That's all I ask. One thing. When you get to Pharaoh, remember me. Remember that thief on the cross? Only thieves and robbers come in here, but they got to come my gate, or the thief on the cross. Jesus. When you get to your kingdom, remember me. Hey, when you get up to Pharaoh there, Pharaoh, the word was son of Ra, God on earth. When you get to God on earth, remember me. That's all I can ask. A lot of time passed by, and finally the Pharaoh has a bad dream. Bad dream. I'm going to have 7 years or 7 beasts grow out of the Nile. 7 cattle, all fat. Nice. And then a bunch of fat or skinny, boned out, nasty looking cattle come out. And they devour the fat ones. It's significant because it's about a famine of the Word of God. And not a famine of the Word of God. And the benefits of not having that famine of the Word of God. Why is the Word of God and sound doctrine so important? Because it's got the answers to all life. All life. And when you're outside of God and you're in the famine, go notice who's out in that famine. Jacob and the brothers. The family. Are out there in that famine. Joseph's living up to his good character. Things are prospering. And then we're going to go now to the other guy's story. And we'll get to his story in the next video. But as, you know, he has a kid in Tamar. Right? We got Judah and Tamar. Judah. Here's a guy who's living out in guilt and shame and all this stuff. And he has kids. A lot of time's been passing by. He's got kids. What's the flip side to that? What's the flip side? Here he's got a son, and it's their custom as love your neighbor. Right? And a part of that love your neighbor as yourself is you don't want to deny anybody the inheritance promised to you. Right? Because the inheritance is to you and your descendants. And you don't want to exclude any of your descendants. So now Judah's son marries a girl and the son dies. And the son dies. And it's their custom that the next brother should marry her. So she's still part of the family, still has that protection, still gets the inheritance. Isn't shafted out in the cold. This is my son's loved one. Now my daughter. Right? For when the two become one. Right? brother don't know. No, I'm not going to take her on. If I take her on and had kids with her, my brother gets all the credit. Because it's his wife. I'm not want to do it. Shame to her. No, I don't want to allow her into the family. And outlaws. Ain't an in-law. You're an outlaw. Not allowed. The other brother, he disgraces her and he won't have sex with her. He only spills his water all over her. But boy, my lust and desire and violate you, hurt you. But I won't love you. I won't care for you. I'll just disgrace you. Just hurt you. Violate you. Pretty soon she's so disgraced and embarrassed and walking full of shame, because that's what they're doing, using tools of the devil, the tools that they learned how to use. We haven't broken the cycle yet. We're going to break the chains to freedom, but it's a lifetime process. It's not happening in 1 week or 2 weeks. This in the lifetime of your life. You'll be ready for your last 10 days of life. When God and the appearing of God comes to take you home. That's what we're working on. Now, she goes to another town, because she's a Canaanite girl, and they have whole different customs. Right? And you see those customs today, still today. When you see Sharia law, a Muslim girl covered in head to toe with the sheet, but a thing that, okay, we're talking right here, these people. He says, we're married out, and those people were outside the family. Right? And they have this Canaanite customs and all this. And she goes and tricks Judah. Tricks him. Oh, I'm a temple prostitute. I have made sacrifices and everything so that I'm a holy woman, and these people are today still around where, oh, I'm like set apart to be a holy temple prostitute, and you put your seed in me and I'll poop out a holy baby for you, and there you go. And what you give you a boy, and hopefully, and there's girls are in a pile in the back, and you say, what? China has wiped out all the women on earth. They're 300 million girls short because of abortion. I know, this is real stuff, and it's really happening in our world. This is real life, but we got to get through all this stuff. And that's where God comes from, in the trust, in the stuff. I'm going to get you through it all. I'll get you through it all. So she says and tricks him, I'm a temple prostitute. I'm clean. Set apart for temple work. But you can't look at my face. You cannot look at my face. Right? It's our custom and all this. And he's in the Canaanite town. And, and okay, you keep your headdress on. I only came for the hole anyway. Gets his business done, and oh, by the way, I don't have no money. Isn't that a man? Master manipulator now. I don't got no money. Ain't got nothing to give you. What? You're not leaving this house unless you pay. I told you, temple prostitute. You're gonna pay. Now, right? He's killing people for calling his sister a prostitute or treating her like a prostitute. Now he's once was judging them, and now he's become one of them. Now he is one of them. Violating who? His own daughter. His own daughter. His own daughter-in-law. He must be 50-some-year-old man. And she's got to be a little kid. Right? And his young son. And if she was 20. Okay, we got a 30-year gap there. You sick old man. Right? Alright. Now what are you going to give me for this? Well, I want your staff. here's Joseph or Judah walking around, they got his staff and his signature staff on it, and he's got all his markings, and he's walking around with his tzitzit or his tassel and all that stuff, and he's got everything signifying, yep, I'm one of God's holy children. And it's all right here on my staff. Great, I'll take that. What? Okay. Here's my staff, and wait, I'm just going to go out to the farm and get you a goat, and I'll give you the goat. I'll give you some goat. Right? Well, he never returns. And then when he does finally return, she's gone. Of course, takes his identity, takes his dignity, takes his respect, takes everything with her. Leaves him standing there in the cold. Comes out later, begins making a big fuss in the town. Everybody knew she was pregnant. She got pregnant, by the way. Everybody knew. Can't hide that. Whose baby is that? No, it's the guy who owns the staff. Uh-oh. Who is that belong to? Now they're making up a big uproar. Who came and violated our daughter over here and turned her into a prostitute? She didn't play, and we don't do that stuff. And Judah said, no, this was a prostitute, a temple prostitute. What? We don't have no such customs of that stuff. That's a lie. You're making this stuff up, because she lied to him. She lied to him. And there she's got his staff. And now he's publicly being shamed for his bad behavior. The effects of remember, like Bill Cosby kind of, it's like, isn't that, wow. You want to look at something, what it looks like? Look at that kind of story. You got the Fat Albert and the gang, and hey, come on in, and all the stuff, and you create this image, and here you got the staff of, man, I'm like a holy Bill Cosby guy. Funniest dude in town, I never even noticed F words don't hit my lips. And there, whoa, are you Judah? Is your daughter named Tamar? Whoa. The facts of childhood abuse carry along through many generations. And then when things aren't stopped, it begins to have an effect. Oh, the town. Everybody. Kind of a good story. You can read up on that story further. Now back to Joseph. He's answering the Pharaoh's dream. Right? And God, just to put stamp of approval on it, I'm going to give 2 dreams. 2 witnesses. I had a second dream. It was more scarier than the verse. It terrified me. These corn stalks, and I don't know where corn stalks come from, because corn only grows in America. It is written corn stalks. Corn stalks grow up, and then there's all these nice fat corn stalks, and these other corn stalks, and these ones grow to mouth, and began to eat the others, and devoured them. Oh yeah, Pharaoh, unbeliever, God has spoken to you. The living God spoke to you. He did? And it's funny because there in that day he brings up all their people and their magicians and their soothsayers and the guys who gaze at the stars and all these things. Right? To answer my dream. I can't answer that dream. That's a crazy dream. Don't eat so late before bed. No, that dream terrified me to my core. Answer the dream. What's it mean? God spoke to you. Oh, when you're in the hand of God, it's a trembling thing. And I was terrified and trembling. And what's going to happen? Oh, don't worry. God told you what's going to happen because he wants to deliver you out of it. He wants to save you from that disaster before it happens. He's got a plan to help you for when it comes. That disaster. when that famine of the word comes, He's got a plan to protect you from it. Alright? Great. Says, you know what we got to do? We got to start storing up 10% of all our grain and all our stuff. And these 7 years are fat years. God's going to rain and He's going to bless and He's going to rain and He's going to bless. And we need to store that up. 10%, not much. 10%. And we'll fill these grains, we'll fill these barns so full of grain that when the 7 years of bad time come, we'll have plenty to get through those 7 bad years. And then when we get through the 14 years, we'll go right back to normal life. Oh, sounds like a great plan. Who are we going to put in charge of all these things? I know, because you spoke to God and was not consumed. Because God speaks to you and He listens. Because when God called, you said, "Here I am. I'm now going to hand over everything to you. King of all kings. King of the earth. God on earth. Nobody's greater than Pharaoh. No one has life unless Pharaoh says you have life. Just ask the bread guy. Burnt dinner and off with your head. I have the power of life and death. And I give all of it to you. Joseph gives him a new coat, fine linen, and all these things, and dresses him. And the beautiful thing, gives him a signet ring. Signet ring.